To the bottom right hand side, our blue Zerg player from Team Expert. It's Bly. And to the top left hand side, our red Terran player representing Cascade. It is BratOK. Getting going here and looking to see how this will go in this first game of the series. Some Terran versus Zerg. Our first Terran versus Zerg of the day. Hopefully we get a few of these throughout. I actually casted a bunch of them last night in Group B of the WardiTV Invitational. Had some good games last night, honestly. I'm going to be going up on the YouTubes in the next week or so. I actually just did a little bit of YouTubing earlier today. It was, it's good, we're kind of queued up, we got everything lined up until the 3rd of January. I guess tonight we'll probably get a little bit more set up for you guys, and we're going to have so much up on the YouTube. There's going to be so, honestly, it's kind of crazy how busy we are going to be in January. To the point where I'm actually not thinking about going to Leipzig anymore. I was going to go to WCS Leipzig just for the usual, right? Just to go and maybe play and obviously just have a good time at a WCS event, but it's at the sort of point where, honestly, I'm kind of just going to be so busy in January and some other things in February that it kind of feels like it might not even be worth going anymore. As this SCV comes down, and we'll be throwing up the command center in the next few moments, so CC coming down on the natural expansion, starting to build up and getting ready to go. This command center on the way. Meanwhile, across the map, well, a hatchery is on the way up, about halfway done here from Bly. So that's already about halfway done. And again, the Overlord's just moving across. Really standard stuff to kickstart things. Why do I keep saying the word kickstart? I really need to stop doing this. So it'll happen soon. Right now, you know, I'm starting to say enough where it's bothering me every time that I will just stop staying. Anyways, for Zerglings, it was a pool first. That's one thing to mention. So Bly will look to apply some early pressure. And he sees the Reaper moving out, and so he tries to dodge it with the Lings. And actually, so far, it's working, but I think the Reaper sees it on the watchtower. And so he is pulling back. And he will get in here to start fighting those Lings, although it's going to be a momentary pause. Apparently, I'm a referee. And that's why I was just checking there for a moment. As I guess. I'm not sure if someone else is a referee in here as well, but I'll just do the job. I know I can do it. I believe in myself. Let's see this Reaper continue to cut away. That Ling is gonna get shot down. Alright, well, BratOK is defending this quite nicely so far. Still, Ling gonna try and come in the left side. I mean, there's a Marine here now as well against one Ling. I mean, the Ling mostly probably just gonna try and scout here, just see if it can pick up any info. But there's not really too much else to be seen here, as that little Ling does go down pretty darn quick. Reaper out into the center is actually going to find a drone coming across. Well, that's definitely not meant to be happening. Bly is going to be losing this in the next couple of moments. I wonder if he could have built a... Sounds ridiculous, but what if he built a hatchery? Okay, it's a very expensive way to save the drone, 75 minerals. But actually, it's only a 25 mineral loss to that overall, because, you know, you're losing 25 minerals extra. Yeah, you're only losing 25, because if you're going to lose the drone anyways, maybe it would be too terrible. And then you can just bring the drone out and obviously get it back to mine. I guess it may delay the third hatch, though. Maybe it just wasn't worth thinking about too much. Single drone, I mean, obviously it's a nice pick-off, but it was just a mistake, and it's not really usually what happens, so not really anything too crazy there. Maybe I'm still trying to pick up some information, but look at this! Maybe I didn't sort this soon enough, but the Ghost Academy came up here, and BratOK is actually going to build a nuke. He is actually going to Ghost Rush. Well, we're going to see a Marine coming in and is already going to start pushing this Overlord away. So the Overlord doesn't actually see this. He sort of sees, okay, Stim starting up. You know, that's the figure. It's actually concussive shells, right, to pick this out. Oh my god, the Overlord does not see the Ghost. I don't believe he's actually going to go and... Oh, okay, he sees the Ghost, but I don't know if he's going to be paying attention. Hellions right now are picking off Zerglings. Obviously, the Ghost can cloak. He's waiting. What does he nuke, though? I'm actually really not too sure what's about to happen here, guys. Like, I'm really not too sure. Whoa, what was that? Whoa, what's that? No, that did, but those buttons did things. Well, I mean, the Ghost coming around the side here. Hellions are trying to run by. Ling's trying to attack across the map. Don't do a lot. Mech behind this. This is genuinely a Ghost nuke rush to start this game. I mean... I mean, Bly sees it, so... What does this actually kill? Maybe not a lot, just the lava. Lava cancels the units. Another Ghost starts to build. This Ghost is going to be uncloaked now, though. And doesn't have the energy to cloak back up, so Slings will come in. They will get the kill on this poor Ghost. Well, I mean... Okay, it cancelled some units. It killed some lava. Was it worth the investment? I don't really think so. But it was kind of fun to see. The nuke rush, ladies and gentlemen. Quite literally. Well, I mean, he did just build he must have built another Ghost Rider. Did he cancel his nuke? He cancelled the nuke. Oh. No nuke number 2. Well, that's a huge investment. And the entire Ghost Academy just for one single nuke. Yeah, I guess he can maybe get it later if he wants it, but does he really want it later? Hellions coming in, they do get Cryptium just before, or not just in time to actually stop this one, but he does get that one as well anyways. Blue Flame coming up pretty quick into Siege Tank production too. Bly not wasting any time. This Infestation Pit is going to finish already, and that means we can probably go straight into the Hive and just go into a very quick set of Vipers here. Or maybe he has some other plan as to what he wants to go into with this Hive already on the way up. I guess we'll see very soon, but I'm pretty sure Bly is fairly aware that he's playing... Well, actually, he doesn't see what he's playing against just yet. He doesn't have confirmation it's mech, apart from the fact that, well, there is still a few Hellions running around the map. But how many Hellions have you seen? These are the 6th and 7th Hellions, so it's not too crazy to kind of assume that this could still be bio. Maybe you saw it with the units that ran across the map before. Maybe that gives them a little bit of info. Only Carapace for now, so it's really kind of non-committal as to what exactly this could be. I feel if he starts to go into Ultras, then maybe he doesn't realize it's mech, because I don't think Ultra Russian is brilliant against mech compared to, say... compared to, say, most other things, honestly. I mean... very interesting. Well, we do see some tanks still just sieged up between the natural and the third base. Viking is up a couple of them. I'm not going to be able to get rid of this Overseer, which is just sat in oversteering mode. Hellions running by. I mean, at this point, Bly definitely does know it's mech, and he just start up rogue speed. I guess Hydrogen coming down. I really guess it's just Vipers, but it's kind of a bit too early for Vipers en masse. Oh my god, these Hellions do not find a way in eventually. Those Evo Chamber blocks are perfect to stop this a little bit at least. Minimize the damage, and we're still going to see maybe a couple more drones here. Not quite. One more. Some good damage by BratOK overall, and see 17 workers killed throughout the game. And it is just Vipers. But it just feels as though these Vipers are coming out so early that we're not even going to have like any any real number of roaches or hydras to actually utilize the Vipers with. It's all well and good throwing down blinding clouds and stopping the tanks from firing, but does that really matter if you don't actually have anything to then kill those tanks with? Because then the blinding clouds are just going to expire, and then what does it matter? Harvesters and tanks pushing these roaches away over to the left-hand side. Let's go augments. Let's continue to come on up. It's going to be about halfway done in a moment. Still those Vipers gathering in the main base. And then a couple of Hellions and a couple of tanks picking those roaches off over to this left-hand side. These units are going to come back up towards the upper left, and in the end, still some tanks just setting up and seeing what's next. Spire dropping down from Bly as well. Evolution Chamber coming in behind the mineral line, and +1 missiles going to get tagged up with +2 Carapace shortly, I imagine. Already a Spire in the way is obviously kind of the intrigue here, the ability to potentially open up options in towards a greater Spire and so on. Definitely a way to make this game interesting. Roaches and the Hydra to this right-hand side. A few Cryptumers getting ready to be placed on this front line as well. Currently this Changeling just moving over as well, just picking up some information. At this stage, well, what does BratOK need to do? I think he needs to identify the Spire, right? He needs to figure out, okay, well, Broodlords are a possibility within the next 2 to 3 minutes, and so I need to make sure I have enough to fight those, or hit a timing before Broodlords to try and slow the Zerg player down. A couple of Vikings on the way up. Obviously, he's already got 2 out, so for now his Viking count's kind of okay. He's actually got 4 out already, so yeah, I mean, he's going in the right direction. He is building these anti-air units, which are, again, pretty much 100% necessary. Hydras roaches. Moving on towards the upper left-hand side. One roach picks off a Hellion here on the watchtower. The Hellions will retake the control of the map. More roaches, though, obviously. The Hellions can't fight against that many roaches. As, I guess, Bly taking position, maybe getting ready to take a fight. I mean, he's got the full energy Vipers, but it's such a spread of tanks. It's not like, you know, two Blind Clouds are going to kind of block up, you know, a whole chunk of tanks. It's a very nicely spread out set of units here, so it's not easy to push into. Here we go, and Siege, and it looks as though we are going to see that push forwards. Great Aspire isn't on the way yet. Obviously, BratOK wants to push at some point himself. +2's finished, +1 armor about to happen as well. And, you know, the sooner he pushes... It's nice to push a little bit before max with mech. I always say this. It's something that's... I can't remember who it was that told me this, but it's actually a very cool little point that if you push it like 160 to 180 supply, with mech, one of the big issues is that you have very slow reinforcements. So pushing with 160 or 180 supply actually allows you to basically have reinforcements coming up in time to protect yourself. You're going to see this set of Vipers that continue to come forward to fight the Vikings. They're just going down. A little bit of an interesting fight there. Again, just to kind of reaffirm what I'm saying, guys, and just to kind of confirm what I mean. Basically, if you push out 160, 180, if you get counterattack, you still have units producing and coming out at home. And when it comes to reinforcing, those units have continued to produce as well over time, rather than when you start the fight and the fight ends, it takes a long time for you to then reproduce because you've only just started up, right? That's sort of what I mean. Again, it can be a little bit complex, just trying to explain it. So it's a cool idea though, as we do see tanks. But now they are stacking up a little bit more. Now would be prime time for those Vipers, but where are they? Regaining energy over on the natural. Great Aspire about to finish. And BratOK's taking a long time to push to the south side of this map. And now Ling Runbai going to hit this third base, but there's Hellions to deal with this, and that's exactly why you don't want to be pushing out well maxed out. Nicely done, catches those. Parasitic Bombs still to deal with the Vikings, keep putting them down. I mean, he really wants to get rid of the Vikings so that he can fight with the Broodlords without just losing them instantly. So that's something he's going to have to focus on here. Hellions cleaning up another wave of Zerglings, and, well, again, these tanks continuing to set up. A siege will happen. So nice seeing those tanks getting ready to go. Here come the Brutes, though. I just don't think there's enough anti-idol to deal with this. He's going to leave the tanks to kill off this hatchery, which he will just not do with the transfusions. Nicely done, nicely saved. A 4 gets yoinked as well by those Vipers. BratOK getting away with a fair amount, though. I mean, still wasn't bad. He still killed a lot in the process of this, you know, before the Broodlords came into play. And you can see jump mid-map here to kind of push some of these units back, but that's a big Blinding Cloud, actually. So 5 tanks just go down, or 3 of them do at least. It's going to be another tank yoinked as well. Now BratOK's starting to lose a little bit more. Bly have a lot of money in the bank while maxed out. And BratOK's going to have to sit back a bit more patiently here moving forwards. A few Hellions will dive over to the right-hand side. BratOK looking for that counter-aggression once again. So they can move on over here, these Hellions. See what they can do. I mean, obviously it's nice they're going to be able to run over and get some damage, but still, at the end of the day, I don't think these Broodlords should be turning around. I think like a handful of Roaches should be heading over here, not the entire army. You know, if these Broodlords continue to move up towards the upper left-hand side, well, again, we ask ourselves, what is there left over right now from BratOK to push back Broods? Not really a lot. I mean, a few Vikings, but with Hydras underneath, Corruptors and Queens, if that army moved over there, it would be pretty deadly. 4 Vikings now building at a time. Vehicle plating starting up just now as well, so it does mean that these Vikings are, well, these Vikings are without kind of support right now still. They don't really have upgrades or anything. Yes, neither does the kind of air units for Bly. There's +1 flyer attacks now on the way out, but not done yet. Well, Vikings going to come in. First Broodlord goes down very quick. Second one gets transfused just about in time. Let's be careful of parasitic bombs on those Vipers. The last thing he wants is those Vikings to start getting chunked away so they become easy to pick up. Oh wow, I'm not sure if this was intentional or not, but the 2 Vikings left at the front picking off 2 Vipers. It's actually a pretty huge deal. Parasitic Bomb did land, he grabbed a few of those. Those Vikings need to get back up in the skies though, because those Broods are just continuing to push. Now the tank siege are going to try and target down some Hydralisks. Vikings spreading out. And they're starting to pick off the Broods, but I just don't think fast enough. And these Hydras are picking up these Vikings so quickly. GG, Blight. That was nice just to check though, now that I've got that set up. You can do that more easily. I thought it was a really good idea yesterday, especially when the webcam was broken, and then obviously I never managed to get a chance to actually do it. Because, Expert wouldn't let me set the hotkeys, so I had to kind of go manually clicking and stuff like that, which is never fun. Well, to the top left-hand side. Our blue Zerg player from Team Expert. Up 1-0 in this best of 3 is Bly. And I pull first again. I mean, Bly loves his pull first. We'll see what he does with it here moving onwards. To the bottom right-hand side, our red Terran player from Cascade is BratOK. So Bly versus Guru would be the round of 8 matchup if Bly was to advance here. Obviously, Bly kind of the... one of the favourites come through this top side. This top side is very stacked, actually. I think Reno's got a good chance to go all the way. Reno's having an insane run in online competitions lately, by the way. Reno has a good chance of going a long way. I don't know what we're going to cast next, by the way, either. Maybe we cast... I don't know if we want to cast Series Z. I'll probably just ask you guys in the chat which series you want to see. We will see. Coming from the future, Reno won the tournament, says Raral. Raral. I can never say your name. Raral. 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 Honestly, I can see Reno taking this one. You know, he's been playing so well lately. His bottom side bracket is not too difficult. Hellraiser may be his biggest issue because his ZvT is so good. I think there's a very good chance he faces a Zerg from the top side later on. I think Reno can... yeah, I think Reno's got a very good chance in this competition. The prize pool for this event, by the way, is pretty sizable. It's a $866 prize pool. In fact, we can maybe even do some further magic here, guys. You guys ready for some even further magic? Boom, prize pool in the bottom right. Yeah, so you can see the prize pool there. $433 first place, $216 for second, $130 for third, and fourth place picks up $86. Nothing for top 8, nothing for top 16. So pretty cool little setup of prizes. Not bad at all, as we're going to be seeing the couple of Marines. Just going to sit on this ramp right now, as we do see the factory is building up. The reactor is on the way down, and this Reaper currently on its way towards the upper left-hand side. Jump into this natural, into the main base, and to see what else is going on. A creep tuner on the way at the moment. What happened to those Zerglings? There they are, moving across now as the Reaper has committed. We'll just try and grab an SCV kill or so. Maybe he can kill a Marine. Let's see what the micro is like as we see the first 2 Lings going towards the ramp, 2 more going towards the SCV, but not much will be done. Just scouts up here, sees this factory building something as the reactor is still building as well. And good information for Bly, I guess, to some extent, as he should just be getting ready to go into a third hatch relatively soon here as well. So we're going to see creeps still pushing out on the map as well. Starport is on the way out. And we're just going to be seeing the well, the rest of this is continued setup still. More Marines coming up towards the main with the Cyclone. And this build isn't really adding up for me right now, honestly. Like, 1 medevac on the way, but already a Cyclone and multiple Marines out. I'm not sure how I really approach this. The Cyclone actually has vision of this Overlord over here, so he will be able to get this kill. Ooh, I don't think he can lock back on, though. I don't think his range actually reaches. Oh, it does. Okay. So he'll be able to kill this off here. Overlord goes down, and Bly will get pushed into a supply block. Well, I guess he just pushes across the map with Marines and the Cyclones. Maybe he drops the Marines and runs across with the Cyclones. But wants to do it kind of somewhat in sync because he doesn't want the Cyclones to just get surrounded and the Marines not be able to kind of drop out and help or so. That would be a little bit of a shame, so... I guess we'll see as we move forwards. Anyways, Roachron on the way up. I guess Roaches won't be out just yet. Definitely an opportunity for BratOK to get quite a bit done. He's going to reinforce with Hellions as well, which against what is currently pure Ling will definitely go a long way to helping out. Medevac is cutting the corner to try and just start dropping up here. These couple of Cyclones on their own on the low ground. Medevac could save them though, and with everything together, this is a terrifying push. But BratOK backs away. He feels as though he's already going to force more units out. Maybe that's enough for him. I guess the Queen's coming over makes it difficult to engage. I just feel as though there's maybe a bit of a better opportunity there, but obviously he just wants to sort of pick away at some creep spread and just slow down the Zerg play throughout the game. And just now he picks off this creep here. I would have thought maybe that this creep tumor over here would be a bit more important for him. But, well, some creep is better than no creep, right? So he's going to get pushed back here. The medevac going very low, but able to escape. As now a Liberator will be his next form of harassment to try and do a little bit more once again. So the Liberator comes up to the top side of the map. We'll be looking to siege up towards the natural or so in the coming minutes. The Infestation Pit will finish shortly. +1 missile attack on the Evolution Chamber. And we do see the Roach Speed continuing on along. We'll be finishing soon. Yeah, obviously kind of a weird way for the game to go though, with just how it started. It was a bit of a different build from BratOK, and that slows Bly down. At the same time though, I mean, Infestation Pit is up, and so a fairly fast Hive can start once again, pretty much the same as the last game. So actually right now is the Cloak Banshee follow-up, and now the extra factories. It feels like a very late kind of transition in towards like tanks, etc., right? It's going to be seeing the couple of units backing away, and we are going to see the Cyclones actually going to get caught. Roach Speed will help a lot in this fight, and BratOK not even trying to get away. Not even sure if this fight is worth him trying to take. Meanwhile, the Liberator in the main base gets completely shut down by Queens. This is kind of crazy right here. As we are going to see those Roaches continue to run on forwards. The Banshee comes in and will start to pick away at some of this. Back at home, there is units to push this away, so Bly won't be able to do too much. I'm just going to see those Roaches pulling back. +1 missiles is on the way up as well. The Hive now starting to morph. It's going to be the Hydrogen as well. Very similar setup to the last game from Bly. And to be fair, he's playing against Mech once again, so did you really expect him to change things up? Well, honestly, no, not really. Bly is not on a 4th hatch, by the way, which is something which maybe he should have started by now. I mean, look at this. No, 4th CC starts from the Terran player, and yet the 4th hatchery of the Zerg is still yet to be seen on the map. Not usually what you see is you're going to be seeing those couple of Hellions going to try and block those Roaches off, make it a bit easier to shut them down. Right now, they're just running all over the place. Might be able to get... Nah, they're not going to be able to get towards another mineral line. Forcing some defense to raise again, just causing the Terran to pay attention. Just trying to find the most out of that Roach. I mean, if it did get away into a mineral line, it could have got a couple of workers, so it would have been somewhat worthwhile. You're still gathering for BratOK towards the 3rd base. A scan comes down and some creep spread being cleaned out. 2 Banshees to the top are going to be looking to see where they can go. Look to try and see if they can push in and do a little bit of damage. Creep being thrown down over here. I love this creep chamber. Like, not even on creep anymore after some creep got cleaned up here before. Gets it down just in time and now starts to spread. Creep's pretty crazy, man. I really feel it's insane how easily you can replace creep. I wonder how insane it would be. I mean, obviously, creep's kind of a very difficult mechanic to balance, and it's very interesting. I wonder how cool it would be if, like, when you killed creep, rather than it just receding, the creep that's kind of spawned from that creep tumor becomes like kind of like decayed creep or dead creep, and so you can't actually just put a new creep tumor on it until it's receded. Because right now, a lot of the time, you'll see this creep being pushed back, and Queens will just replace it instantly. Now, obviously, it's not very easy to do. It takes a lot of skill from the Zerg, but it takes a lot from the Terran player too. I don't say necessarily creep needs to be nerfed as well. Don't get me wrong. I'm not being like, well, creep's just ridiculous, guys, and I think this would be a great change. I just wonder kind of how that would change the game and how it would look. I mean, you look at this right now, it's not like BratOK hasn't been cleaning up creep. Okay, he's not been doing it 24/7 or all 9 minutes of this game. But he's been picking off some tumors here and there, yet the creep is still insane in all directions. I just wonder what that would maybe change in the scenario here. As we're going to be seeing these Hydras, Roaches and Vipers now. Going to be setting up for Bly, and obviously going to be maybe looking for an attack, but he's actually way down in supply. I guess he's just trying to go in towards the Broodlords very quickly here. Probably doesn't want an actual fight, maybe just wants to pick away a couple of tanks. So those tanks tend to very far forwards. They will be grabbed over the set of rocks, and that's a nice pick-off. Honestly, there isn't any other tanks at the front here. It's mostly just Hellions. And Hellions on their own aren't going to be great against this. Bly's army supply is actually about 10 up. He's actually down in workers currently, which is not usually the situation you would see. So we've seen those units still moving around, and Bly just having a little bit of a think as to what he wants to do next. These couple of Liberators continue to set up. Maybe doing some damage here. Needs to transfuse on that Queen, but he misses it. Well, Spore will definitely be helping out, but he misses every single transfuse here, and he's going to lose every single Queen as well. Bly having a bit of a disaster against that. Now losing the Queens. He has Hydras, of course, but still those Banshees going to be doing a little bit. Picks off a few more drones. I mean, this is 12 workers he's killed. BratOK doing some real damage, and Bly being kept for now 55 drones to 79 SCVs. Great Aspire starts up, +3 missile attack is on the way in the Evolution Chamber as well. Still these Hydras and Roaches and Vipers from Bly. Stand up over towards the right-hand side, a few Hellions. Coming up here as well, just running by, obviously trying to hit mineral lines to continue the harassment. Well, BratOK's in a very scary army now. He is maxed out. We're going to be seeing a couple of Vipers already abducting. Just going to be seeing still this army overseer, the Setra. Looking to see where it can go and what it can do. Another Viper overhead. 3 more Vikings on the way up. And well, tanks will unsiege, units will get ready to go. We're not going to see Bly on the low ground. He's just been a little bit of an annoyance. Going to abduct a couple of Vikings in. I mean, just sort of free pickoffs from now and just backing away as the tanks push forwards. These units just gathering up outside the 4th base. A couple of Hellbats across the map before some drones to transfer bases as well. A lot of Roach Hider will come over here to clean that up, but still forces the army to come and respond to it to some extent, and it gives BratOK a chance to start pushing onto the map. Again, Bly's had a lot of time in this game where he's been heavily behind in economy. In fact, his eco's been down heavily for like 5 minutes now. And his army has been kind of always trailing a little bit as well. Now 6 Broodlords coming up, and they could be his saviors. But only 4 or 5 Vikings up, but not necessarily enough to fight this. There's the Corruptors as well. No, just Queens and Hydras. It might be enough. I guess we'll see how this goes in a couple of moments as you see pushing forwards. These units getting ready to go, and you see, well, Broodlord's going to start dropping down. The tanks are going to start doing friendly fire. The Vikings are not in the front. There's a parasitic bomb on the Vikings, which will force them to split away or maybe drop down, was one way BratOK was dealing with it in the last game. But look how much damage those Vikings get. Now they're very easy to pick off with the Hydras, etc. Because those tanks have to unsiege to some extent, and now they are going to allow the Hydras to push forwards a lot more easily. Oh, wow, these Hydras are going huge. And the thing is with the tanks as well, a lot of them are just kind of firing on Broodlings, not actually the Hydra force. Bly completely crushes this fight, and once again, BratOK just misses his timing with these Broodlords. He just misses his timing here. He's going to see all tanks will continue to get picked away at. I just continue to chase them down and pushing forwards. You see guys continue to go on in. Another tank going down here. A couple of Hellions getting picked off too. About 4 SCVs going down in that stage. These Broodlords continue to move on over to this right-hand side. Vikings will help to defend this, but I think Bly's already done so much that maybe he can just push in on the ground now. If not on this high ground, he can push to the low ground. Oh my god, the Vikings need to be so careful. 2 tanks siege, but the Broodlords will come in, and they will get rid of at least 1, but should make moving forwards as Hydras a lot easier. Queens are protecting with the transfusions, and there's just going to be too much here. As you see, pushing forwards, planetary forwards will go down. Missile turret will drop, so it doesn't protect these Broodlords any longer. The Vikings cannot get close enough. And Bly looks as though he is going to be able to 2-0 his way through and into the round of 8 of this competition. Hydras are still just moving on in and still just doing a little bit more, but again, there's just no way to truly stop this. GG, good luck is called by BratOK, eliminated in the first round here by Bly. A tough first opponent, obviously Bly one of the favourites for the tournament, and Bly will move on through then to those quarter-final matches. So he'll move on through to that. And guys, what I'm going to